But one of the things that I think a lot of us struggle with in the guitar playing that we're doing is the independence of the fingers. Finger independence is something that is very pesky and very difficult. There are certain tendons that actually run through and connect to each other in our hand. And specifically these two fingers, they are very interwoven. So if I went like this right now, you could see that my pinky starts to move because I haven't trained it the way I have my fretting hand, I should say. You can see that I can independently move those just fine. So it's about really thinking of exercises that help you target some independence when you're playing. So let's stick with the framework that I just showed you. Let's stick with a major scale. We're going to extend it though. I'm going to show you all of the octaves of a 3-note per string major scale. Let's do it in A major. I just made that decision. So on the 5th fret of the low E string is where we're going to start. You remember the shape so far? 5, 7, 9. And then on the A string, 5, 7, 9. And then on the D, we go 6, 7. And we played that already, but let's extend. So now we go from 6, 7 on the D string to 9 on the D string. We do the same thing on the G. 6, 7, 9. Easy peasy. On the B string, we go 7, 9, 10. And we do the same thing on the high E string. 7, 9, 10. So first of all, I think that we really need to focus on just being able to ascend and descend. So let's actually get this going and show you what it looks like and sounds like to ascend and descend that scale that we just learned. So that's what it should sound like and look like as you ascend and then you descend. You'll notice a couple things. I never double a note in that process. So when I reach that higher note, I just pick it once and I'm on my way backwards. And the same goes if you were to just keep going. You don't repeat that lower note. You just start building right in to that other note. And that's key. So that's version 1. Version 2 is really where the finger independence comes from. And it's this idea of something I call back and forth or up and down. I haven't trademarked it yet, but maybe. So back and forth, up and down, it's the idea of not just simply ascending note after note and descending note after note. And there's no specific exercise to this. I'll show you a variation, but there's unlimited potential to you making your own exercises out of your scales and variations out of this right now to start building this. So what I want you to do is follow along with me. We know our scale. Let's focus on the first 2 strings, the lower 2 strings. So if we just went up the scale, that's what it would look like. We just go 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9. But what happens if I go 5, 7, 9, 5 on the A string, and then I come backwards to the E string where I just was on the 9th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret. And then I go 7, 9 again. So basically, I want you to pay attention to just this 2-string section first and foremost. 5, 7, 9 on the low E, 5 on the A, 9 on the low E, 7 on the low E, 5 low E, 7 on the low E, 9 on the low E. I'll show you what it looks like and sounds like first before I explain what we do next. So let's go ahead and capture this, and this is what it looks like to do just that piece. So what I want you to do is really pay attention to what's happening there, because that process of going up, hitting that one extra note, coming backwards and back up happens to every string. So once we finish that, well, I want you to think about that same exercise starting on the A string with the scale. So going 5, 7, 9 on A, 6 on the D, 9, 7, 5, 7, 9 on the A. So let's do that, but let's combine it with the first variation that we just did. So it's the same exact process of this added note up above and then coming backwards and pushing through again. And I want you to do that through the whole scale, ascending first. So let's look at what that would look like nice and slow if we just focus on ascending this exercise and thinking of it in the two-string chunks, so to speak, that we have. So let's do it nice and slow together, and you can follow along. We'll go from there. So you can see, again, at first, if you look at an exercise like that, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that's like a lot of work and a lot of crazy stuff going on. But when you start to break it into those two-string sections, it becomes much simpler. Now, when you descend, I want you to do the opposite. So I want us to start where we're going to be descending. So if we remember that scale, we're all the way up here at the 10th fret. So now we repeat the process, but we do it a bit backwards. So it'll look like in a two-string variation. On the high E string, 10, 9, 7. On that B string, we just play 10. And then we go back to the E string, and we go 7, 9, 10, 9, 7. And then we start it over on that B string. So we just start to descend in a similar way to the ascension that we did, except it's just flipped now. That's it. It's mirrored. So let's listen to the whole thing all at once, and you can take a look at what it looks like and sounds like with me. So again, it could seem a little overwhelming or daunting. There's a lot going on there. But I will honestly say that if you start slow and you break it into those two-string sections first, so you're not playing the entire thing at once, you're just going, okay, let's do it on the E and A string. Okay, one time through, done. One time through, done. Okay, let's start on the A string variation. One time through, done. One time through, done. And if you just break it into those two-string sections, it becomes much more manageable for you and a lot more, I guess, effective, a lot easier is what I'm saying as well. And then you can connect the dots from there as well on top of that. But this is a great exercise. The up and down, back and forth, whatever you want to call it, exercise is really effective when I'm playing.